So it honestly pains me to say that the current state of the economic condition of some households today in America is so bad. It is literally making it so that families they can't even afford to eat. Now, the reason why I say this is because Squirrel Tribe, she's actually going to put up a video, a live stream, which, depending on when I upload this video, may be after this video or she's already completed it. But the point is that she's doing a live stream where her and our daughter will be doing some things on this live stream and preparing some food. But in order to make that happen, we had to visit Walmart yesterday to pick up some ingredients for what they needed to do this recipe that they wanted to do. Well, in that experience, we actually had several experiences. We had a couple experiences at the Walmart, which I'll let her explain. One of which being, uh, you know, I feel good about it, but it's just one of those situations where if it were to happen to you, if you were to be on the other side, the receiving end of it, how would it turn out? What type of mentality, what type of mindset, what type of people are we dealing with today? I'm just going to say, let me just put it like this. I'll put it like this. What would you do if you found $1,000 laying in the parking lot? We just got out of the car, we were walking inside, and where we were walking, I remember seeing a van. The reason why I remember seeing the van was because it was taking a long time to back out of the parking space. So I just was mentally, I remember like this van's taking a very long time to back out. Now it was parked in a handicap spot right next to the shopping cart return. I'm not in a huge hurry, so I didn't really care, whatever. I'm not gonna lie. There's a thing called island time. But here in Florida, like me personally, I'm on Florida time. Like I'm not in a hurry. I told you guys in one of my last videos, I don't set an alarm. I don't. I wear a watch. Which somebody asked me what kind of watch was I wearing in my last video, and it's a Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean, and so I don't really care. But I recall, man, this van's taking a long time. It was like a conversion, like a panel van, but it had a lot of windows, and it probably had like 3 or 4 rows of seats. And I just remember the van for some reason. It was white. The windows were not tinted. It's just something I remember randomly. But we're walking. We get out. The van backs out. It leaves. We pull in like 2 or 3 spots further down the aisle, past the cart return, and then we get out and we head inside to Walmart. But Michelle looks down, or Alyssa looked down. I can't remember which one it was. One of them looks down and says, "Oh wow, look at that!" And literally sitting there in the parking lot was $1,000. Now, it was not $1,000 cash, but it was something of at least $1,000 worth of value. And the question is, would you take that, pick it up, and continue on about your life? Or would you take that and pick it up and try to find the owner? More than likely, the white van that was taking a long time to get out of space. At a time right now where money is tight, inflation is really eating up folks' ability to survive just on a regular daily basis. So if you came across this situation, do you keep it because you need it? Or do you go through a little bit of extra work that you didn't plan on doing that day to get it back to who it belonged to, its rightful owner, because they need it? Just kind of curious. I would hope that if it were me, somebody would try to find me and return to me what I lost. But that's just me. I know everybody's not like that. Now, as we continue on this Walmart journey, which is always interesting when I go to Walmart, like, I don't go to Walmart that often, but every time I go, it's like there's always something there that just I didn't expect. In this instance, I didn't expect to witness somewhat of a situation. I'll just leave it at a situation where a woman was at checkout and she was trying to get the attention of the attendant in the self-checkout. There was nothing wrong with her self-checkout machine. There was nothing wrong with her as this temporary part-time employee working for Walmart, scanning her own items and ringing herself up for free, not on their payroll, not on their insurance plan. But she was trying to get the attention of the attendant for the reason being she needed to remove some items that she had scanned. And also, we have seen instances I actually saw on Daily Dot the other day, a TikTok upload of a Walmart shopper who actually found on their receipt, it was like a $19 and change, almost $20 charge on their Walmart receipt for, it was like unknown random miscellaneous item. That was nothing. She ultimately went back inside the Walmart after having left the store thinking like, man, that was more expensive than I thought it was going to be, which I think a lot of folks today, for the most part, know pretty close to how much their checkout total is going to be based on the items that they have on their shopping list, the items that they're buying before they even ring them up. So I can understand how this person can say, man, I really thought that seems kind of high. So she starts looking at her receipt and she's like, what's this random charge? It literally said like random miscellaneous unknown item or something like that. She goes back inside. She goes to customer service. She said customer service is actually pretty nice and very helpful. And they looked it up. They couldn't find the SKU anywhere. And ultimately what it boils down to is like, it was a computer glitch. I don't know all the details behind how this computer glitch occurred, but now I'm kind of wondering like how many people have been hit by this computer glitch and aren't aware, or weren't aware until way after, and we're like, there's no way I'm gonna go back to Walmart and try to fight this. Well, this instance, this woman she didn't have a problem with her self-checkout. She didn't have a problem with any, computer glitches, putting extra fees on her checkout. She had no problems like that whatsoever, but she did need to remove some items from the list. Now, granted, there are instances where some of these items ring up different prices than you thought they were going to be, different prices than what the shelves say. No, not in this situation. And this is why, it saddens me to say that this is the situation that we're in right now, where so many folks literally have to wave down the self-checkout attendant and ask for help to remove items off their self-checkout for the simple fact of the matter is they can't afford the total. They can't afford the total. They don't have the money. Now, I don't know if she was paying with cash. I don't know if she was paying with a credit card. I don't know if she was paying with an EBT card or like a PBT or SNAP food stamp or SNAP benefits. I don't know if she was on government assistance from Social Security Administration with SNAP, but she had to remove some items off the list because she couldn't afford it. This is the state that we're in, folks. Don't let these clowns in Washington try to convince you that, oh, the economy is great, the job market is great, inflation is down 7.7% for last month. No, it's not great. It's not. When you have families sitting here and they have to make the tough choice and debate on what they're going to eat and what they're going to take home and what they're going to buy and what they're going to put back, it's not great. When you got companies laying off folks left and right, basically severing their income, wiping out their weekly or bi-weekly paychecks and shutting down their family finances, which probably don't have much in savings, if any. probably have no fallback plan. We're barely getting by, barely keeping our head above water. That inflationary water that I was telling you about, barely paycheck to paycheck, week to week, one paycheck away from catastrophic failure, unable to cover any sort of emergency expense that would pop up randomly, that would literally wipe out their family. And they're sitting here trying to shop at a grocery store to get the food and necessities that they need. And then they have to make the tough choice of, what am I going to put back because I can't afford to buy my family the food that they need, which then means that we have to figure out a way to stretch this. But more than likely, that just means that, in a short period of time down the road, it's going to get so bad where they're like, we can't even go to the store. We can't even go to Walmart and go grocery shopping, because it's not a matter of putting a few things back. We don't have any money to buy anything. We don't have any money to buy any food, and this is not in a situation where we're going to go and we're going to rack this up on a credit card and just charge it, and run this balance up, max out this credit card, maybe see if we can get another credit card, max it out. No, because even if that were the case, it's going to be short-lived. It's going to be short-lived. You're going to run out. You're going to run out of runway. You're going to use up all your reserves. God, dog. Don't get me started on reserves. I got a video that I'm working on for you guys about the strategic petroleum reserves, and just thinking about the consequences and where we end up, how we back ourselves and put our backs against the wall and paint ourselves into a corner by literally blowing through our resources, blowing through our reserves without any feasible plan or strategy or any preparation whatsoever to replenish. Now, that's what I'm talking about. So if you are in a situation where you can't afford food, you can't buy all the groceries you need, you got to take things off the list, take them out the cart, take them off, unscan them, and not, the resource is your money, is your income. And if you're in a situation where that's the tough decision you have to make, the call you have to make, if you're running these credit cards to try to get by, then there's no way that you can replenish the resource, which is money, which is savings, which is investing, because you don't even have enough as it is. And, anything that you were to borrow at that point, you have no feasible means, strategy, preparedness, plan, prep to repay that debt. So you're just blowing through resources, which is similar to what we are doing with our strategic petroleum reserve, which is going to be a huge problem on top of this diesel shortage issue, on top of these phony CPI inflation reports and, updates and headlines and one-liners and, lies. I'm take these off so you guys can see when I say this. The lies that they're telling us on a regular basis. The lies that they're telling us on a regular basis. For what? For their own personal benefit, for their own personal gain, to get the votes. That's what they're doing. And they don't give a crap about us. They don't give a crap about any of us, no matter what. They get what they want, and then they forget about you until 2 to 4 years later. That's it. They get what they want. And you would think, it's like, well, they care about somebody. Yeah, they care about themselves. But it's kind of hard to track the breadcrumbs because you'd say, well, they care about themselves, but they're not giving themselves billions of dollars. You're right. They're not. They're not giving themselves billions of dollars. They're giving other countries billions of dollars. They're giving other countries billions of dollars. Guess what? From us, from our taxpayer dollars, from our Social Security funds, from our resources that they have no means, no plan, no preparation of replenishing. That's where they're getting the money from. That's where they're sending. That's how they're sending it, right? But it's like, well, why would they do that? Why would they do that for like a country like Ukraine? Why would they do that? Well, long story short, let me just put it to you like this. They're not giving it directly to Ukraine. They're giving it to support Ukraine, or whatever country it may be. It doesn't even have to be Ukraine. This is a theory of how the money works and how it's manipulated and pushed through the system. And this wealth is transferred. And basically, if I want to do it, I being them, the government, entities, lawmakers, politicians, people in power, then much like the the God dog, it's as you talk about it, it just keeps getting deeper and deeper, and it just like it expands your mind and blows your mind about what's really going on, opposed to what they say is going on. But similar to the forcefully enacted protocols for jabs, for injections, for boosters, they push it on you, they force it on you with this hazy image of good, when in all actuality, you got mega pharmaceutical companies out here pulling in trillions of dollars from us, taxpayers, guinea pigs, basically taking these tests, these literally running clinical trials on everybody, not a select group that has agreed to this, like literally running clinical trials on everybody, only to say later, oh, you know what, that was a bad idea. Don't take that one. Did you take that one? Oh shit. All right, everybody else, don't take that one no more. He took it. Look at him. He all fucked up. Don't do that. And then you got now folks coming through and reporting claims of having knowledge and information about a lot of different things that are really, really scary to think about, really scary to talk about from pre-pandemic. It's like, you can only believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. And what they were showing us and what they were telling us was all fake. And then now you got the studies and the data to show that, there are long-term effects that hurt people physically and alter their genetics that basically, put them in this situation where it's like, yo, if you have the choice to be where you are now today with the ailments and illnesses and problems that you're experiencing now versus just catching a cold for 2 weeks, a week and a half, 2 weeks, which one would you prefer? But it wasn't that simple. It wasn't that easy, because it really came down to, do you want to be able to travel? Oh, do you want to be able to enter into this establishment? Do you want to be able to keep your job? A lot of folks say, Kevin, my financial situation is solid. Our household balance sheet is strong. We've never had any issues whatsoever. We're in the medical nursing industry. We are critical. We are essential. We are recession proof. Some of y'all are, but some of y'all knew the struggle y'all were up against as y'all critical, essential, recession proof folks were left on the front lines when no one else knew what was really going on to save us all, save hundreds of thousands of people. Unfortunately, watch so many have to spend their last days alone in isolation, unable to see their family, their loved ones, because of this crap that they put us through. Only to then have the tables turned on you and everything flipped upside down and say, well, we appreciate what you did. Thanks for being there. Thanks for being there. But if you want to stay here now, you're gonna have to take this. You're going to have to take this. A little vial. We'll say this is a little vial. Like, you're gonna have to take this. If you're one of us, you're gonna have to take this. So anyway, the point is that the money gets shifted and it gets transferred to businesses by way of this news coverage, this mainstream news coverage that shows mainstream media going to other countries and showing the conflicts that more than likely were self-inflicted and, created. That's right. These folks, they're really good at solving problems. They really are, because what they do is they sit around and they create solutions all day long. Like, you think, man, these guys, they're solving problems. They are. They're sitting around and they're solving problems amongst them, like groups of them. And then it's like, yo, we got all these great solutions. And then, then they're like, all right, now we need to create problems for these solutions that we've figured out. That way, if we can create the problem, then we can throw money at the solution. Everybody will be snowed. We'll look like heroes. We'll get more votes, and we can funnel this money to the businesses and organizations that we hold shares of, we have interest in, we have equity stakes in, or whatever it may be. 6 degrees of separation, and it'll come back to us. And then, we can go get another jet. We can go, you still want that new helicopter? Get that new helicopter. You get that jet, you get the helicopter. You can go get that was it 40,000 square feet, 40,000 square foot beach house, another one. Yeah. Go get one of those in the Hamptons. And that's the game plan. And then the other thing is on the flip side, they want to keep so many people dependent on them and their roles and how they're helping people by basically allowing them to be broke as hell, allowing people to struggle with government assistance programs, Social Security, Medicare, EBT, food stamps, or whatever, Section 8 housing, a measly stimulus check every now and again that will cost you more in the long run than you've ever gotten from them, point blank, because they want to help you maintain your dependence and, addiction to them providing for you, but basically barely providing anything for you, but making it to the point of which you're so scared to cut it off that you'll accept that mediocre, insignificant aid and assistance instead of, ditching it altogether, figuring out, hey, I can do this without them, and then them losing their power, their strength, their position, their leverage, and then ultimately being shut down, wiped out. Much like businesses right now are evolving, the government could evolve too if the people forced the change. But that's a whole nother can of worms. But we are seeing an evolution in business. We're seeing a huge evolution in business. We're seeing businesses go under. We're seeing businesses go bankrupt. We're seeing municipalities go under. Municipalities go bankrupt. Cities in the red, filing Chapter 7, Chapter 9, Chapter 11 bankruptcy, whatever the case, Chapter 13, whatever it may be. Cities now are filing bankruptcy because they don't have the money. And so ultimately you got to think, well, why does this city not have the money? Well, then you got to see, all right, well, which side does this city lean towards? You see what I'm saying? It lean towards the wrong side at the wrong time. You're going to feel that pain. But we are in an economic cycle. Businesses are changing. Jobs are changing. Tons of layoffs occurring, happening, hitting the headlines. Today is Sunday. Tomorrow is Monday. I guarantee you tomorrow we're going to see a new start of the week to a new round of layoffs being announced through the headlines. We're going to see some hiring freezes. We're going to see some more dips, more than likely some more dips in the markets. We're going to see housing market updates and, more news surrounding the potential housing market crash. And this is the evolution of business that we're experiencing right now. But what we probably won't see or hear more of is the new businesses evolving, the new businesses emerging, the new businesses that are starting and thriving, the new businesses that are hiring folks. And we probably won't hear too much about that because that's not the message that they really want to put out there. But, that's just it's like the circle of life, sort of, when you think about it from a business standpoint, the circle of life, and as, one goes out, another one comes back in. Maybe it's not quite 1-to-1. Maybe it's two goes out, one comes in, or as one goes out, two comes in. But this is the beauty of the, world country we live in, and our ability to pursue this American dream, which is still obtainable. It's still obtainable. It's just definitely getting a little bit. No, I'm not even going to say it's getting more difficult. I'm just saying that it's changing in the way in which and how it can be approached. And you can't do things today the same way you did them 100 years ago. You can't do things today the same way you did them 50 years ago. And crazy enough, you can't really do things today the same way you did them 2 or 3 years ago, maybe even 1 year ago. Things are different. Things are changing. But the simple fact of the matter is the core principles still remain true. And that is, working hard, being smart, being aggressive. Entrepreneurship is the best path besides investing, which you're investing in yourself at that point, really, in your own businesses, to building wealth. But you gotta be going after and capitalizing and attacking these opportunities, especially when things look bad. That's the best time to do it, because when things look good, everybody wants to do it. We want to go after things when they look bad, and we want to go after things when they're on sale. We want to go after this when there are discounts available. When you have the opportunity to buy things at 25, 30, 40% off. That's what we want to do. And we want to be in this for the long term, and not just a quick get in, get out. We want to be in this for the long term and really capitalize on growing this wealth and building up our net worth, building up our portfolios, diversifying our income streams, diversifying our investment platforms and investment vehicles. That's what we want to do. Why? Because that allows for replenishment of the resources. We want to replenish our resources. We don't want to deplete our resources and our reserves without having any plan or strategy or being prepared to replenish them equal to and or greater than what we used. Much like approaching a business scenario, if I want to put $50,000, if I want to put 50 grand into a business, I need, it's debits and credits. So if I'm going to take 50 grand out, I'm going to put 50 grand in to this business. But if I'm going to put 50 grand into this business, I got to put 50 grand back where I got it from. But I don't want to put 50 grand back where I got it from. I want to put at least 75 grand back where I got it from. I want to put 100 grand back where I got the 50 from. That way I'm replenishing my resources and my reserves equal to and or greater than what they were previously. We're not trading dollars for dollars. We're not moving sand from one hand to the other. And this is what I'm talking about when I ask you folks, do you work for the economy, or does the economy work for you? That's the difference in getting through. Because look, we had one seemingly good indication that inflation is trending downward based on this CPI report, but we are not out of the woods. I'm not even saying yet. We are not out of the woods. I don't even know if we're ever going to get out of the woods. It just may change so that the woods are less thick, less briars. It's easier to walk through, but we're not out of the woods. So to take this and look at this like, oh, wow, we're at 7.7%. Hooray. Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve, they've done it. We're okay. We're going to make it. Inflation's not, just because that report came out and said inflation was 7.7%, did that immediately make you have more money? Did that immediately make you feel better about what's going on in the economy? Did that immediately make you sleep better at night because you felt safer because you now had all this money in savings and investments? No, it didn't change a thing. It's a number. We're not out of the woods. We got a lot of work left to do. And I know that there's some smart folks out there, some hungry folks that are willing to grind and hustle to get it. I know it. Now's the time to get it. I don't want to see folks at the Walmart self-checkout trying to wave down the associate in the blue vest to ask for help because they got to take off the milk, the eggs, the chicken, the water, the bread, the essentials that they need. They got to take it off because they can't afford it, because this economy is burying them alive, and they haven't done the things that they need to do to position themselves and their families to, one, have a steady income, get out of living in poverty, excel upwards beyond the low income and middle income, which middle income is going to be wiped out, mark my words, and put themselves in a position to have the economy work for them instead of the other way around. Stop trading your hours, your time, your precious time directly for dollar amounts, and start earning passive income, side hustle income, returns on your investments, dividends on your stock investments, net gains and capital gains on your stocks and your crypto and your real estate. That's where we need to be. That's the right-hand side of the cash flow quadrant, where the business owners and the investors, that's where they are. And that's how they survive. And that's how they continuously grow. And that's how they continuously increase their net worth. And that's how they don't wind up in these situations where they have to say, I can't afford it, I got to put it back because the economy is tearing me apart. Inflation is a bear. I barely can get by. I can't pay my rent. My car's about to get repossessed. I don't know what I'm going to do. That can't be the case. Please don't let that be the case.